Portofino, a glitzy seaside resort for celebrities. But is that it? What has this got to do with dolphins, an infamous conspiracy, an underwater statue, a famous novelist, a sports car, and a string of famous movies? Portofino is located on the Italian Riviera in north-western Italy. A Celt Ligurian people populated the area from the 8th century BC, largely due to sea trade across the Mediterranean. During the Roman Empire, the town was called Portus Delphini, Port of the Dolphins. Around 1072, Portofino resisted a failed assault of the naval fleet of the nearby Republic of Pisa. Its natural harbour supported a local fleet of shipping boats, but this was soon swamped by the growing stream of marine merchant ships from nearby Republic of Genova. During the 5th century, it was passed around between powerful families, Fieschi, Spinola, Adorno, and Doria. In 1409, Charles IV of France, Doge of Genoa, sold Portofino to the Republic of Florence. As Charles was ousted from Genoa, the Florentines quickly gave it back to Genoa. In 1445, Giovanni Antonio Fieschi gained control of Portofino and sided with Genoa, causing it to be under siege in 1513. During the Fieschi conspiracy of 1547, Giovanni Luigi Fieschi unsuccessfully attempted to recapture the city of Genoa from Andrea Doria. Unfortunately for Giovanni, the power of the Fieschi family was broken, and Admiral Andrea Doria took over Portofino for himself. In 1797, under French revolutionary rule of Napoleon Bonaparte, Portofino was part of the Ligurian Republic, and it was eventually annexed to the First French Empire. In 1815, it was incorporated into the Kingdom of Sardinia as a result of the Congress of Vienna, and this restored Europe to its pre-French revolutionary state, under the watchful gaze of Genoa. Now part of the United Kingdom of Italy, during the late 19th century, British and Northern European aristocrats visited Portofino as part of the Grand Tour. The arrival of the likes of Aubrey Herbert and Elizabeth von Arnim made the area fashionable. Since the 19th century, its small natural harbour and colourfully painted buildings have attracted the cream of European aristocracy, and increasing tourism resulted in the building of expensive holiday houses. And by 1950, tourism had replaced fishing as the town's chief industry. The waterfront was now dotted with restaurants and cafes. La Dolce Vita. Things to see. The bronze statue of Christ of the Abyss, Cristo degli Abissi, placed underwater to protect fishermen and scuba divers, and in the memory of Dario Gonzatti. There is a similar bronze sculpture now in Key Largo, Florida. Castello Brown, also known as Castello di San Giorgio, a 16th century castle which helped defend Portofino from attacks from the Republic of Genoa, the Venetian Republic, and the British. Richard the Lionheart stayed here on his way to the Third Crusade. San Giorgio Church, Portofino, which includes relics of St. George, allegedly brought to Portofino by sailors returning from the Crusades. San Fruttuoso Abbey, a nearby Benedictine abbey built in the 8th century. The protected marine area, where you can view dolphins. The central historical piazzetta is dedicated to the martyrs of the Olivetti massacre. In the nearby town of Olivetti, 20 partisans were executed in 1944 by fascist soldiers commanded by Siegfried Engel. Portofino celebrates St. George's Day, its patron saint, with a historical bonfire on April the 23rd. Lungomare a Misani, the seafront, where Belle Epoque painter Giuseppe Amazzani, where he usually painted, and he died in 1941. The seafront was then renamed Lungomare a Misani. You will see a marble plaque here with the inscription, "Here the beauty of the world smiled for the last time on Giuseppe Amazzani, the painter." Portofino is also full of culture. The 1922 novel The Enchanted April by Elizabeth von Arnim, based on her stay in Castello Brown. A 1991 feature movie was filmed at the same castle, starring Joan Plowright, Miranda Richardson and Alfred Molina. Portofino was visited by Swedish writer Göran Schilt, author and art historian, in 1948 as he travelled across the Mediterranean Sea in his sailboat Daphne. It is believed to have been the inspiration for Sir Clough Williams Ellis village named Port Merion, built between 1925 and 1975 in northern Wales. Albeit something he denied, he did remain a big fan of Portofino. In 1959, singer Dalida released the song Love in Portofino, which she sung in French and Italian. Portofino has been recreated as Portofino Bay at Universal Orlando Resort in the United States. It also inspired the creation of the Mediterranean harbour area at the Tokyo Disney Sea in Chiba, Japan. Portofino also featured in the BBC TV series Top Gear, as Richard Hammond in a Ferrari Daytona raced James May in a powerboat from Portofino to Saint-Tropez in France. Well, of course they did. Portofino has a sports car dedicated to it, the Ferrari Portofino. It even has its own TV series called Hotel Portofino, set in the 1920s, which was filmed on location. Singers Andrea Bocelli and Jack Savaretti have both performed concerts in Portofino. In 2014, singer Lana Del Rey shot a video at the chapel of San Sebastiano. Portofino is regularly used as a film backdrop, and it was included in the 1995 Antonioni Wenders film Beyond the Clouds, featuring John Malkovich and Sophie Marceau. The Disney Pixar animated movie Luca and Cars 2 were inspired by Portofino. Some scenes from Martin Scorsese's movie The Wolf of Wall Street were also filmed there. Many celebrities have stayed in Portofino, typically staying at the Belmont Hotel Splendido, including Clark Gable, Humphrey Bogart, Lauren Bacall, Groucho Marx, Ava Gardner, Elizabeth Taylor, Richard Burton, Winston Churchill, Liza Minnelli, Rihanna, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Denzel Washington, and Steven Spielberg. Some people visit, some come to stay. Notable residents of Portofino include Pope Gregory XI, the last Avignon Pope, who stayed in Portofino on his way to Rome in 1377. Henry Herbert, the British politician who built Villa Altachiara in 1874, and he was the one who sponsored Howard Carter to discover Tutankhamun's tomb. The Countess Vacca Augusta later fell to her death from the same villa. Guglielmo Marconi, the Italian engineer, inventor of the radio, whose yacht, the Electra, was often moored in Portofino. Rex Harrison, English actor who built a villa in Portofino and hosted showbiz parties for Laurence Olivier, Vivien Leigh, John Gielgud. Click here to get even closer to Italy and Sicily.